We are back on site with Blast, and I am here with my guy. I'm so happy to have you finally in the studio with me.
Yes.
So let's do it. Todd Smith, listen, owner, entrepreneur, uh, somewhat of a mentor to me, partner. Like this is my guy. This is my guy. But we're gonna get into it. And how are you first and foremost?
I'm good. I'm tired. It's been a busy couple of weeks. I'm excited to be here though. This is nice. I got a lot of energy now. But the last 3 weeks I started a new job, so I've been on the road for like 8 days out of the last 15 days.
Moving around.
Yeah, so we've been busy, but I'm looking forward to tonight.
I'm just happy that while you're moving around, you still answering my texts, like so.
I mean, look, there's very few people. When you find the people, there's a lot of people with big ideas. There's a lot of
Right.
like daydreamers and talkers, but there's very few people that have the important part, the execution, the get up and go. And when you find those people, you got to hang with them because that's like you want to be around those people.
Yeah,
Hey,
for sure.
you're learning from them, you're relying on them, you're partnering with them. You know, it's that you're being held accountable by them. It keeps you moving.
Yeah.
I mean, I need that. I need those people around me. And I mean, like what they say, like, you know, if you want to know what people perceive you as, like, look at the 5 closest people around you or something like that.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that's like lately that's been what I've been seeing by experience, because like we've been working closely now for almost a year now, and I've been inspired the whole time, like very much inspired. Our conversations always inspire me, and like we bounce ideas off of each other.
Yeah, me too, man. I'm honestly, I'm flattered that you say that, but I feel the same way. And I'll tell you why, because I think the stuff that we're talking about, the stuff that we're daydreaming about, like, I think that was something that, I would have done when I was younger if I didn't have to take, like, a safer route.
Right.
If I wasn't forced into, like, having to go out.
Me too, probably.
But, it's never too late. And if there's something that you love, and I'm gonna keep chasing it. I'm gonna look for it.
For sure.
So I admire what you're doing, like, exercising that creative muscle that you probably didn't get a chance to exercise like your whole career.
And I'm happy that you accept us and let us just do us. Like you're like you're like whatever y'all want, go do it. And it's been a great experience because one, we've been selling the fuck out.
Yeah. And it's been like quality.
But that's the other thing, it's gaining traction.
The vibe. I don't know if you can, like, if there was a way to sell that, to like put that in the ad.
Yeah.
But
that's why we gotta start filming.
Even the video footage.
Yeah.
It's not accurate.
You gotta be there.
Crazy.
You gotta be there.
That room is special.
You gotta be there. Yep.
And what you guys do is fantastic. And I mean, I've been to all of them.
I'm a super fan of Zoetropolis and everybody who works there. Like the staff, everybody.
I worry about them too because it's hard to find good people.
Yeah.
And we got such great people right now, but I know they're getting tired. And I worry.
For sure.
I worry about it. I talk to them about it. Like, I don't know. We're trying to staff up. We got stuff posted. If you're looking for a job, sous chef,
Zoetropolis, yeah.
Bartenders, definitely go to the website and apply because it's hard right now. We get, our executive chef set up 5 interviews last week, and 1 person showed up. 1 out of 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
The
other people just didn't even show up.
The employment market is tough right now.
Yeah, man.
Ever since the COVID and everything hit, and nobody wants to go back to work.
No, yeah, and honestly, I don't blame them.
Yeah.
It was hard. COVID was hard for everybody.
For sure.
It really, it highlighted the stuff that we were lacking, pre-COVID. And, family time, like being present, taking care of our health, getting outside more. Like all the things we needed to take like a collective breath.
Yeah.
But then, I think it dragged on too long. because now we got, people like depressed, and they're covering
a lot of mental health issues coming out of it.
Yeah, it's popping up, and it's scary. So we got to be cognizant of it. We got to, and it's important. I was listening to your first show with the Queens, and you guys talked about trauma a lot, and I think we're finally getting to this place, because people think about medicine. It's easy to like treat a broken bone. You see that, you can that's medicine, but we don't put enough weight on mental health and the trickle down effect on the rest of your body.
Absolutely.
And trauma especially, I'm learning about it, and it's something I realize, I wish I was paying attention to it earlier, because
we don't recognize, because when we was younger, we don't recognize what trauma actually is. I was saying, we don't recognize that. So now that we know what trauma is, looking back on all the things, damn, I've been through a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. And that happens with a lot of diseases, a lot of mental health diseases, because it doesn't have a name yet. It doesn't have a diagnosis that they've connected to the appropriate treatment. A lot of mental health issues are just subjective. It's a set of criteria that you have to meet in order to qualify for the diagnosis. There's, very rarely can you test something with a biomarker, like a blood test, or some kind of scan. It's just an interview. I mean, that's what you have to do.
So let's go back to Zoetropolis.
Yes.
How did you get involved with Zoetropolis? How did the whole thing happen? Because for the people that don't know, let me break it down before he tells you exactly what he does and why Zoetropolis is so dope. Zoetropolis is a place unlike any other in our city. There's a distillery there. There's a theater and a restaurant, all provided with a liquor license that you serve the liquor that you make, which is so dope.
Right. Yeah. So that, and listen, I wish I could take that. Zoetropolis is so special, and the founder, Lee Lindsay, she founded it in 1996.
Wow.
So I can't even do the math. What is that, 26 years or something?
Yeah.
Like that? Some 26 years. She she presented the type of program that she wanted to, completely unapologetically. It wasn't about, she wasn't checking customer reviews. She did it because she loved what she was doing. She loved the films. It was about the love. It was about the passion. And it took all this time, for the rest of the world to catch up to Lee.
Yeah.
There were some people that caught on early, Nate and Shayla. They were partners with Lee. Probably I guess 7 or 8 years ago now. They joined with Lee at Zoetropolis. And she had some great partners before that. I know Karen Roberts was another investor before that, and Lee and her ex-boyfriend, one of her old boyfriends, were actually one of the founders. And really special story. And the mission's never changed. It's never moved. The programming is we're doing it because.
Yeah.
It's unapologetic. And I think people are starting to appreciate that a little bit too, because there's so many sellout brands.
Yeah.
There's so many brands that's what can I do to get some kind of engagement?
Absolutely.
Metrics those aren't our metrics.
Mm-hmm.
Our metrics are different. Our metrics might be a little squishy, but it's about a quality. It's a quality product, a quality experience. The one thing I didn't mention about is my other partner, and I'll go back a little bit in the history, but Matt Hostetter, he's one of our 5 managing partners, and then we have a couple investors, and obviously all our spouses are really super supportive, and that's we couldn't do it without that support. But Matt is a musician, and he books all the music, and he set just the vibe in that room when we do live music. It's wild. It's just a great experience.
I saw your little. I don't want to say little because that sounds like I'm hating. I saw your event that you had over the weekend.
Oh yeah, that was at my house.
Yeah, and Matt was there, right?
Matt was killing it.
Yeah, I saw it. I was like,
did you see? It was the sky was a little overcast.
Yeah, it looked crazy. I was like,
yes. That was
I definitely saw that.
The fire was on. Kids are running around,
absolutely
getting Easter eggs. I was like, man, this is
it looked like a vibe. It looked like a vibe.
That's what I wanted, and it was good. And I got to see family that I haven't seen in a long time. And it felt like kind of the start of something. We're going to get back to this time.
Because before Zoetropolis, for you, for you, it was the Sugar Tank.
Yes, the Sugar Tank, and I mean, I still love that place. We still have it. It's still fully operational. There's a guy that runs the studio now, Levi Schlosser. He's in a band, Tigers and Thieves, and then my other partner, Mike Musser. But it's Matt, myself, Mike, and Levi that are really running the place. And our initial concept was we wanted to have a record label, like a Lancaster-focused record label.
Right.
But we wanted to do it right. And we quickly realized, as we're like going through the renovation process, like this is going to be expensive.
Right.
But we wanted to be kind of selective about who we had record there. And so we started doing shows initially, and we would do these barter systems with the musicians where we would record the music. We would have a videographer.
So there's a nice studio up there.
It's a beautiful studio.
Right.
We would mix 2 tracks for them and give them the content back, and they would play the show for free. And then we'd sell tickets for like $15 a pop. And so that actually like covered a lot of expenses. And we wanted to have like initially like a kind of a recording, but also like a little bit of a social space.
Right.
For like, that was something I always was really interested in doing, because I think I love being in the recording studio.
Yeah, me too.
I
used to do music too, so the studio was
that's just a special feeling. So to go up there and listen to music being recorded, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's like a bit of a vanity project too, because I just like to be up there when we're playing music.
I mean, I was only there a couple times, and I loved it there. Yeah. But if I'm being honest, I love Zoetropolis more.
Yeah. Well, hey. So let me tell you why I structured it this way. So that we started at the Sugar Tank. My neighbor, Mike Newman, got me involved, and so there was 4 of us: Mike Newman, Matt Hostetter, Mike Musser, and myself. And we were the partners. And then Mike Newman, we bought him out, and so it was just the 3 of us. And then Levi runs it; he's the head engineer. But during that time when we were like renovating, we were meeting these crazy talented artists and creators that didn't really know how to monetize their talent, their trade. They didn't know how to like create a framework and operationalize it and do the administrative stuff. So I was like, Matt, what a great idea would be? We should start like a consulting company that helps artists kind of operationalize their business. And we were like, okay, let's do it. And then, so we were bouncing ideas around, and I knew Lee at the time, and she was actually talking about shutting it down. They were either going to move it or shut it down. I forget what happened. And I called her, and I was like, hey, I was just curious, are you interested in, like, would you be interested in taking on other partners and, maybe just expanding a little bit, doing something a little bit different? And we talked about it. We all kind of came to an agreement that it was going to work, and it worked. We got to find it, like it was contingent, like our purchase the whole project.
Right.
And so I went out, and I already had the Kinneys, they were committed to doing something. Right. And they wanted to do this project.
So you brought the project to them?
Yes. Me and Trent would ride the train like down to Philly. We both worked down in Philly, and we would have these conversations and kick ideas around. And then I knew Taylor and Adam wanted to be involved, and so it was like let's be honest, I had that money. Like, to say Taylor Kinney was one of our anchor investors, it opened up other financial windows, like with even banking institutions. There was a bit of a guarantee there.
They were going to get behind it anyway.
Yeah, they were supportive, so that was helpful. That was intentional. And then so we got the financing, went back to them, worked out the terms. Came together, and we've been off and running. And one of my partners, Nate Boring, like he was able to quit his teaching job.
Shout out to Nate.
Yo, Nate is so talented.
I love Nate. Yo.
Listen, I walked in here and I kicked something over, and the first thing I thought was like, man, I have to get Nate to fix that for me. That guy, he like just repurposes he's first of all, he's like the nicest guy ever.
Yes, for sure.
And he's so talented. He can't sit still for shit. Like, he's moving in a million different directions. But that's like his gift,
Yeah.
And I'm saying, like, he made the table rails, the foot rails at the bar. He made those. He made the tiles in the bar, and each like 4 tiles took like 6 hours. Matt and I went out there one time. We were like We were trying to help. We kept getting in the way. I was like, fuck this. Listen, Nate, I'm not helpful in this moment.
I'm the same way. I got 2 left hands. I'm not that guy.
It was horrible. And he knew it. He just wanted somebody there to cheer him on. But hey, that was like those where we learned about each other.
And it looks good now.
It looks good. It's special. It's like you know what?
There's like a vintage feel to Zoetropolis.
Yeah, it's unapologetic.
And now y'all got the arcade games.
I love it. It's where I want to be. It's where I want to hang out.
Yeah.
But when I go, I get all stressed out because there's like shit to do, and I feel like I have to talk to people because I don't get in there as often as I'd like. But it's special, and I'll tell you, like at the core of it, genuinely at the core, the mission, which has been the mission, will always be the mission. It is intended to be like the cultural community center, where people can come together and they can use something like a film or a play or a show to like re-engage with new maybe people that they don't see on a regular basis. Yeah. And like start building a little bit of connection and, helping people kind of, come over, like overcome some of those, the trauma symptoms that we talk about. And like, that's it, man. It's like, and
that's basically what you allowed us to do. Like, I'm going back to, I don't know exactly what month it was, but it was last year, and it wasn't the first time we met, but it was the first time we met. It was just me and you. You know what I mean? And I told you my ideas and what I wanted to do, and you was all in.
Yeah.
Like, and
because it takes courage. That takes courage. And when you're talking, we knew, like, you were an acquaintance, and I knew you. Like, we were talking, but we didn't get we weren't working together or anything like that. And to, like, have that conversation, those are the people that you got to find. There's not a lot of them. There's not. People don't do that.
I'm not going to lie. Like, before I hit you up, I was, like, kind of nervous. Like, I was like, I don't know if he's going to fit. But I was like, nah, I'm shooting my shot.
Yeah.
And it was like, we not only did you feel my idea, but we like I gave you my idea and we build on that. Like you gave me some feedback, and then we put something together, and we created our first show.
In like a dinner.
Yeah.
Because I feel there's like at this point, I need some depth. I need it. Like, I'm jumping right in. I want to see where your heart's at. I'm not good with all the superficial because there's so much superficial.
Right.
There's
sure.
So much.
A lot.
You're inundated with this, like, everything. Like, you're being served it. Mm-hmm. And I'm like I like looking at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not fighting it. That's probably why I keep getting served back up to me. But there's so much of that. You want, like, something. Like, you want something a little deeper.
Yeah.
And, that's what I'm chasing. That's what, that's what in life in general. And so to have people that are like-minded, that are willing to take that kind of leap, you're pushing me. You're pushing me. I want to fuck it. I mean, I love media. I love, it's something I secretly always wanted to do. I did like acting, I did like some community theater.
Yeah.
I did some embarrassing student films that my kids will find on YouTube someday, I'm sure. But, I needed to do that.
Right.
I needed to do that. I still think it's always going to be a part of me.
Yeah. And you've allowed me to like there was a point where I was like stagnant with my dreams. Like I was like there was a ceiling to my dreams. And now like me and you talking and we be bouncing ideas and you like, yo, go bigger. And I'm like, okay. It's like, because now it seems like we can touch anything because of the success that we're building and we know that there's bigger plans down the line. So it's like they're already
there's big plans. I mean, it's gonna there's big plans.
Yeah, for sure.
That's gonna be wild.
For sure.
I know there's big plans. So that's great. I'm excited for it.
And just the fact that we were lucky enough to have success from the gate. Like we sold out our first show.
Yeah.
And
that show was killer. I was so surprised.
You and me both.
I was so surprised.
I remember you called me that morning like, y'all are going to sell out. And I was like, get the fuck out.
And not only that, it's just the energy. Again, the energy is, that's what you pay for.
Yeah.
That's what you're paying for, to get that feeling. just for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And then go back to whatever you're doing at your home office, you know.
And that's all we're trying to provide is like a because I remember
it's so important right now.
Yeah.
It is so necessary, and you guys are doing it right. I mean, it's a public service. Like, we all need it. We need to get out and like we need to be social again.
Yeah. And we came out right after the pandemic too.
Yeah.
So like our first show was like basically when outside opened it back up.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay.
You never really got to fully operate like unencumbered or there's always been barriers.
And it was holidays and everything. It was like the crazy.
Hey, listen, that's us too. Like we opened. It's wild. We opened in April of 2019. Our business got we were profitable in month 5, and that's unheard of. With just our model was working. Like the model that we intended was working, and so that was what was that? It was like November timeframe. I want to say September or October actually, and then then we hit November and December are the best months, and then January and February were super slow, and I was like, oh no, like we had this great run where we hit profitability,
right.
like at least operationally at the time, and then boom, January, February, the slowest months, and then like smacked right in the face with COVID. So
shut everything down.
Oh man, we were just juggling. I was so, because you think about your employees, and I mean it's easy if you think about them like as employees or distantly, but like when you know them and you know their family and like,
that's the thing about Zoe is like
real.
Zoe is like a
people.
family. Like
yeah.
and when we came in, they treated us like family.
Yeah, I think that's important, man. Because I know I need that. Right. I know for me personally, I need that. I want that environment.
For sure.
There's enough phonies out there. There's enough people that are, that'll yuck it up behind your back. So it's got to be all organic and honest.
I think that's kind of why we fit in over there, because we was already like a fan. Like that's how we are.
Yeah. No, and that's what I was attracted to.
Yeah.
You guys had, and not just like it was, like I remember it was like 30 or so, like this big team of volunteers.
Yeah.
Just ready to go.
Yep.
Just ready to work.
Yep. And it happened organically, just like Zoe.
Yeah.
Like it happened organically, and I think the culture probably over there, because that's what we built. Like it was a culture, and it made people want to gravitate towards us. And
yeah.
I feel like
we're trying like hell to maintain the culture, but right now it's hard because people are hard to find. Like I said, we were saying earlier, and I worry because they're just taxed. Everybody's just killing it. They're doing a fantastic job. We're doing really well, but I know they're tired. I know they're getting burnt out, and we're like trying to help them out. Yeah, and that's just. I know I keep bringing that up.
So come put applications in, please.
Yeah.
For sure.
Good people.
Yeah.
Good people.
Yeah, you got to work too, for sure. You got to work.
No doubt, you got to work.
Let me ask you this, because of like your success in business, and even not even just business, your success in like your career. Does your ambition ever get? Does it ever sidetrack your personal life at all?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's a hard thing. It's like
because I know for me it's hard to juggle.
Yeah, you can't. It's impossible. You'll never get it perfect. Like it's a 3-legged stool where one of them's just a little bit too short, and you might be nailing the career thing, but you're slipping up over here with the family thing, and you're not taking care of yourself or something, So it's just like you got to constantly monitor. And I really dug in deep, I think, over COVID, just to do like a really kind of like an internal, like a gut check for myself.
Self-reflection.
Yeah. What does I'm calling it chapter 2. Like, what does my life look like after COVID? Well, like, what am I like?
I think that's how we all should look at it.
Yes, and I'm like, I got some big ideas, and I'm not like, there's no reason for me to hesitate. I just got to balance my life. I got to figure it out, and I'm not balanced right now. Yeah. I'm a little too heavy on the work side. And for a while, I was like all in. Like I was fully available with my family. It was amazing. Like COVID, I got a chance to connect to my kids. My kids are incredible. Yeah. They're so different.
Life slowed down for a little bit.
I mean, I needed it.
Yeah.
I needed it.
I think the world needed it.
We did, man. And I hope we don't forget.
Yeah.
I hope we don't forget too quick. And I also hope we start to actually take care of ourselves in a way that becomes institutionalized. Like, I don't want to feel horrible about doing, like, you know what, I'm gonna break out early to go see a basketball game, or I'm gonna have to miss this meeting for, you know, because my daughter has a soccer tournament. I don't want that anymore. You know,
that's the craziness, because I know you juggle all of that. Like, you definitely like, whenever I call you, you're either at work, dealing with something with Zoe, or with your family at a sporting event or something. And I'm like, you're outside. Like, when are you home?
Well, I'm home during the day. You know, I'm home. I work.
You work from home.
Yeah, I work from home. But other than that, like, we're on the run a lot. You know, the kids. I have 4 kids, and they're like bouncing in 15 different directions.
They all got everything.
Except my oldest daughter can drive now. She can drive.
She can take herself where she needs to go.
She can take herself. I mean, that's a whole different feel. Like, weird. You know, that's scary alone.
Listen, I got 3 that are doing their own thing right now, and it's crazy.
The worst part, so I had this little Acura that I loved. I had it for like 8 years. It was all paid off. It was beautiful, spotless. Didn't even have 100,000 miles on it yet. And I was like, man, I'm gonna give my daughter this great first car. And I never had a problem with it. Second week, she's like, hey, Dad, the engine's making some kind of noise. I'm like, what? No way. Like, you did something. Like, buckle your seatbelt. Like, you're screwing up. And she's like, no. And then so I had to take it in, and it was like something busted. It was like something in the electrical system. And it was I think it was like $100 or $120 or something. 2 weeks later,
something else.
Battery dies, and she's drifted into the parking lot at Hempfield High School, like on a diagonal, in the busiest basketball game of the season. Takes up 3.5 parking spots. Can't move. She's getting out, like, she calls me frantically, and she's like, Dad, I don't do. I got there, I couldn't move it. So third time, this is like 2 months later. It's rainy and gross, and I think it might have like snowed a little bit. And she was trying to pull into our driveway, and we have this big mailbox with a corner, and she must have took the turn too tight and came up on the mailbox. And the worst part, she parked, ran inside, and made me move it and bust up my own car that I loved. I was like, shit, I had to do it myself.
So where's the car's done now, right?
No, it's good. It was just like a little. But you know what? I'm making her ride around. She's rocking that Acura with a big dent on the side.
Oh, you're not fixing it?
No, I will eventually. She's gonna have to rock with it for a little bit.
I feel.
Hey, that's daddy tax right there. You gotta learn a lesson. But she's cool. She's so, like, she doesn't care.
Yeah.
But I do want to. I'll fix it at some point.
So since we've been back outside, do you have a balance?
Not right now, man. Well, I'll tell you, I started this new job, and so, you know, I have
which
those,
is huge.
Yeah, this is really important work, and but you know, balance and everything. I'm like leaning really heavy into this part of my life, which I need to, and so I have the opportunity to lead the launch of the first FDA-approved psychedelic medication, and it's MDMA assisted therapy, and it's being studied to treat post-traumatic stress disorder. And because it's not approved yet, and it's, you know, they have the first phase 3 data has been published.
Right.
There's a confirmatory phase 3, and that is they're at like their midway point in terms of enrollment. And
so we're not getting in trouble for this information, right?
No, that's all fair. But but I can't say anything like other than that.
Right.
But the treatment is it's a totally new way and to address a really big unmet need. And
I just want our audience to know real quick that he just said he's part of legalizing MDMA. Look up MDMA.
Medicinally, medically, therapeutically.
Yeah, therapeutically.
Yes.
And look up what MDMA is on Google, or we won't get into that. Go ahead.
Yeah. So it's it's the first phase 3. The clinical trials have been published, so you can look at those. I'm not going to provide any commentary on them, you know, other than I think, you know, it's we have a great opportunity to change mental health, and change the way it's treated, and I'm excited to be a part of it, because for me, it's like not only about professionally growing and having aspirations in my career, but this specifically, when I think about PTSD. And
it's groundbreaking.
It's great, and how many people it touches, like the ripple effects, the layers and layers and layers. If you think about people with PTSD, a lot of them self-medicate. They have substance abuse, alcohol abuse disorder. You know, there's drug addiction. There's this escapism component, and you know, a lot of them now they have an addiction, and now they have to like, you know, maybe rob and steal to feed that addiction. And now they're in jail. And now, if you didn't have PTSD going into jail, like while you're in jail, there's a good chance, you know, you're going to see some horrific things and have some horrific experiences. Right. So you're not coming out rehabilitated. Mm-hmm. It disproportionately affects, you know, African Americans and minority communities. You know, think about trauma, like generational trauma. Yeah. I mean, hurt people. That's
Absolutely.
What happens.
Absolutely.
And so, I mean, I experienced like trauma like everybody else. And, you know, if we don't genuinely take a moment, allow ourselves to process it, allow our kind of amygdala to settle down, and like our ego to drop, and like spend some time with it and process it, it's coming out in some way. It's manifesting somehow. We all have to do it. And there's people that I see, I get frustrated, I get mad at, because I'm like, it's so obvious, and and they know it, mm-hmm. but there's some stubbornness.
It is, because I remember before I was running a business and trying to be just sitting in the middle, I was very opinionated on social media, and I had posted something before, and I said something about, I think that they should just legalize drugs and regulate them, like, because there's other countries that have done that, and they stopped arresting the addicts so much, and they started treating them, and they started giving out needles to these people, because these people thought that what I said was so outrageous. But I'm like, listen, like, I'm not saying let everybody go out and do drugs. I'm saying there's ways that we can, like, some of these drugs can be used.
No doubt.
I mean, like,
there's a lot better ways.
Right.
I mean, if you think, you know, just like a simple statistic, the last time I read it was like, I think it was like $46,000 a year to keep somebody imprisoned. And in Pennsylvania, which is like one of the, I think it has like it's the most expensive in-state tuition in the country or something like that. But you can send that same person to Penn State, pay for their room board, feed them, pay for their apartment over the summer for less than $48,000. And look how we're spending our resources.
Right.
Because this system over here isn't working. And in fact, it's like, you know, it's causing this like fractured family syndrome around the country, you know, and it's those things ripple and those things affect. It might look different, you know, it might sound different, but it's always there. And so unless we're like, let's treat people like humans.
Exactly.
We got to be able to look at every individual face that we see on a daily basis, like walking down the street, strangers, and be like, there's a story behind that face that deserves the same like amount of attention and credit and worthiness that my story gets. My story's not that, you know, my story's not that much more, you know, important or special, maybe to me, but like if we can all do that, yeah, and take a little beat, you know, and stop being dickheads. Yep. I mean, that's what we are. We're mad. We're mad at a bunch of stuff that didn't go our way, and we're acting like, you know, dickheads to each other.
That's exactly what it is. Like,
that's the next pandemic. Like,
everybody's fighting each other over these issues, when we could be covering so much more ground if we weren't fighting over the little stuff. And a lot of it is either religious, political, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like the stuff they put out there to divide us.
Yeah. Well, let me get real boring. Can I get real boring for like, give me like 30 seconds of boring. But at the core of what you just said, so you're talking about like religion and politics, and you think about, you know, what they were developed for. They were developed to like influence people's behaviors through fear. Mm-hmm. Because what fear does, if fear creates something in our brain, right, it activates a certain part of your brain, your amygdala, that causes your fight or flight response, which causes you to feel anxiety, which causes you to like your pupils to narrow, you know, your blood to rush to the center of your body, and like you get that, you either freeze or you're ready to go. Right. You know, the sweaty palms, and that's your body that's relying on that old part of your brain. You know, that before you had this part of your brain that helps you, you know, make you a human, at least a normal human. But this old part of your brain, which is, you know, what is acted on when people are afraid. So when you look at political campaigns, like all that, like both parties, it is so like, you know, when you know the neuroscience behind that part, you're like, these fucking guys right here. There's like,
and I didn't break it down like you just broke it down, but that's where I'm at with it.
Yes,
like the end result.
Yes.
That's where I'm at with it now.
Politics, the news, what else? Like, I mean, think about all the terms you've heard, death panels and blah blah blah, and like, you know, welfare queens and all this. Stop. Like we're humans. Let's look at each other like we all got that story that's worth something. Yeah. And stop.
Like we all know the religions. We know everybody got different religions. It doesn't matter what you believe in. I don't care who you're married to. I don't care what you're sexual. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Because
when I was going,
like when I look at somebody, either you're an asshole or you're not. Like I deal with you based on how you are.
Yeah.
Like I don't care what you believe. None of that. Like how are you as a person?
Yeah, and I don't understand how people can like run that extra filter, like run information like based on, it just feels like it slows everything down for me. Like I feel so busy and, you know, stressed out sometimes. I'm like, you know, how can you even add that extra layer to care about something superficial?
Right. I agree. I agree 100%. And it's insane to me that we're still fighting over the same bullshit that we've always been fighting over.
It's wild, man. I don't get it. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for my kids. My kids are smart though. They're like, they're you know, it's what do they call it? Pendulation. Like we swung over here under the Trump years. Yeah. The country, you know, they showed their ass.
They sure did.
Right? and now it's swinging. Now these kids over here, like, you can't say shit to a teenage kid right now. Like I'm trying to talk like eloquently to my kids about race and stuff like that, and they're getting mad at me. And I'm like, listen, I am trying to, like, I'm teaching. Right. Like this is, and because I care, it's important to me that you have the facts and you're not just uninformed. Yeah. And you're virtue signaling. You gotta do the work. You gotta
know what you're talking about.
You gotta do the work, and you have to do the work. You can't like. I mean, can I tell you a crazy story real quick?
Yeah.
So I was down at this. I started this job, and I wanted to immerse myself in the whole experience. So they're doing training for therapists, trauma training, and it was down North Carolina. It was Asheville, North Carolina, and it was like a predominantly white, you know, training class. There were a few minorities, and there was one day they were doing like a group study. I wasn't there for any of it. I didn't see this, but apparently somebody drove by and yelled the N-word to a bunch of trauma therapists that were doing like group work outside.
Just yell at the car?
Some, who knows?
Right.
Some like piece of garbage, human being. And so that happened. And I maybe I shouldn't even share it, but like that happened, and there was people that, you know, walked away. There was people that didn't know how to respond. There was people that like, and for me, like, I wanted to take action. I want to do something. It bothers me. And I want to, like, ask that person, like, how, you know, what can I do? And I'm like, here I am. And this is what this lady said. And she's like, you know, I don't want, she said it to the room. She's like, I don't want anybody, I'm dealing with my own trauma. Right. I don't want anybody to play, I'm not going to deal with your white guilt as well. In this moment, she said that to this room. And I was like, wow. Like, just the moment, the space she created saying that, making it, and since then, that resonates so hard with me. Like, whenever I'm about to flip, I try to, like...
It makes you not want to...
I try to take that space for myself a little bit. It's hard. I'm meditating and shit. I'm not very good at it yet.
Life will do that. Like, life will... Like, certain situations will make you react differently because of what you've already been through. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I've been there. Yeah. for sure.
I mean, it's wild. And all those things, for me, like, those things that are still, like, so pervasive, those are things I think that are just they're gonna ruin any sense of recovery we have. You know, those, like, kind of meandering feelings and attitudes, and, you know what I'm saying?
It's hard for a Muslim or a Christian to have a logical sensible conversation about religion without somebody getting offended.
Yeah.
It's hard for a black or a white person to speak on race.
Yeah.
Because it's uncomfortable. But we need to have those uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah, I have to.
Because you can't get to a place of resolution without those conversations, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's important, and, you know, it takes courage.
For sure. Yeah. It's because anything uncomfortable takes courage.
Yeah, but we got to do it. And I'm thinking, like, man, I just wasted 2 years. You know, why are we wasting time? Why are we wasting time right now? Like, there's easy fixes. There's fixes that are going to take some work, but we can, like, at least start.
Yeah.
Let's stop. Like, it's just wild to me. I don't you know, it's weird that we ended up down this alleyway. I think we always
this is our conversations.
Yeah.
That's why I had notes, but I'm not looking at them.
No, that's interesting, man. But it's like, hey, chapter 2. I think we all should think about it. What are we going to do for chapter 2?
For sure.
You know?
Post Rona.
Yeah. See ya.
We are, but not for nothing. We've been hitting pretty high post Rona, business wise. So yeah.
I mean, I always wonder, like, how do you guys define your success when you debrief? Is it like energy, vibe, sales? Like, what do you guys experience? Customer sentiment? What are you guys checking in on?
Well, you know what's crazy to me is that I'm super surprised every single time we sell out, even though it's like regular. Yeah. I don't want to even say regular. I don't want to, because I don't want to sound cocky.
Yeah,
but
yeah, you can't. You gotta grind. 100%
right.
of the time.
Because people don't. We're not just doing shows. We work. Like, you know, we're working.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised every single time we sell out, and the success, I don't feel that we've reached it yet. I feel like we're on the right path.
Right.
Like, I don't feel like this success, it just means to me that we found our niche and we need to go in that direction. You know what I mean?
And I hate to break it to you, man. Your like definition of success will keep moving, and you know that. It's like a couple sellouts, great shows, well produced. Well, like, you guys hustled and earned it, and now you're like, man, I got to do something. What's the next big thing? What's the next big thing? And it's a rush. Like, that is I mean, I love that feeling.
Especially when you do what we do, because it's up for public consumption.
Yeah.
So that's what, like, it's not like, oh, we know we have a dope product. Like, no, like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's shows that are the dopest shows on television, and they get old after a while. Like, they run their course. Yeah. So it's like, how can we keep reinventing, and how can we keep, you know, like, and I just, like, that is pressure in itself. So I
think because you're so hard on yourself.
Yeah, like, I never get to enjoy it. Like, I'm just like,
but that's, you know what? Here's the problem. You're probably never going to really enjoy it. It's probably always going to feel like just a lot of work. And then
that's what, yes.
Maybe someday. Maybe when you, like, get self-actualized, when you start.
We just got to start taking a couple vacations. Like.
That's right. But, yeah, I think you're always going to be chasing that next big thing. And you know, I mean, what else are you going to do with your time? If you love it, why not?
Yeah.
Why do I have to do something different?
And I always, like, I'm the type of person that always has to create, like, a competition. So even like if it's in my head,
like Michael Jordan,
anything. I'm that guy. I'm him. Like, I'm like, yo, I can see the smallest thing. I'm like, are they trying me?
Yes. I always feel disrespected.
Yes.
I always feel it. Nobody does anything, and I'm like, God damn. I always.
They better stop playing with me.
I'm like, go ahead and try it. I'm like, please say something to me. Please say something to me in the wrong tone. Please, I don't care if my kids are with me. I don't care one bit. Let me show you the side of it. I'm itching to do it. I want to. Like, I still got him in there.
Absolutely. That's why we get along so well.
And you know what? I feel like it's healthy to recognize. It's healthy to let it out sometimes, man.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, is there anything? No, I don't even want to say is there anything, because you've given me too many gems since we've known each other. Give someone who's starting out in business just one piece of advice that you would just want them to start off with.
Yeah, so I think that's pretty easy. I think the hardest part about being successful in business is finding the thing that you love. Like, it's got to be the thing that you love. Maybe you're embarrassed to admit that you love it. Maybe it's, you know, I don't know, collecting Beanie Babies. It doesn't have
Right.
to. Find the thing that you really love and go out and try a million things to find it. Try media. Try, the things that you're embarrassed to admit that you want to try. Try them all, and then find that thing you love, and then that's what you do. That's it.
That's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
So that's great advice.
Yeah,
and
authentic.
consistency.
Yeah.
Like, because some people won't stick to it. Like, while you're doing all this, you might not be making money, but still try all of these things. Like you said, like, try all of these things while you're not making money, because that's the only way you're going to get to the point of making money.
Yeah, you got it. And also, you don't appreciate it if you don't like, the urgency isn't there. The need to, like, improve and figure it out.
Yeah.
That's not there.
For sure.
Unless you're out there making money.
Yeah.
So you got to get there. And also, like, the product eventually just sells itself. Like, people want authenticity right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, I know, like, we were talking about the pendulum earlier. I'm tired of all, the fluffy, kind of superficial, like, obviously I've been talking about the whole show. But, so people are looking for these kind of interactions.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a good spot to have them.
I think that's why online content is so popular right now. Like, it's more popular than TV.
Yeah.
Because it's the real. People like real, authenticity, like you said. So, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, man.
Todd, thank you for coming. I appreciate you. Our conversation.
How do I get to become like a cameo guest, like Andy Richter? I'll be like your Andy Richter. I'll come sit on the couch every once in a while.
You have
I'll put on something cute, man.
You know you have an open door policy. Whenever you want to come in.
You're gonna see me on that couch someday.
Todd Smith, my man. Appreciate you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Peace.